Thank you for this wonderful welcome. Thank you to the people of Jakarta and thank you to the people of Indonesia. I'm so glad that I made to Indonesia and that Michelle was able to join me. We had a couple of false starts this year, but I was determined to visit a country that has meant so much to me. Unfortunately, it's a very quick visit, but I look forward to coming back years from now when Indonesia hosts the East Asia Summit. Before I go any further, I want to say that our thoughts and prayers are with all of those Indonesians affected by the recent tsunami and volcanic eruption, particularly those who have lost loved ones and those who have been displaced. As always, the United States stand with Indonesia in responding to this natural disaster, and we are pleased to be able to help as needed. As neighbors help neighbors and families take in the displaced, I know that the strength and resilience of the Indonesian people will pull you towards once more. Let me begin with a simple statement. Indonesia is a part of me. I first came to this country when my mother married an Indonesian man named Lolo Sutoro. As a young boy, I was coming to a different world, but the people of Indonesia quickly made me feel at home. Jakarta looked very different in those days. The city was filled with buildings that were no more than a few stories tall. The Hotel Indonesia was one of the few high rises, and there was just one brand new shopping center called Sarina. But checks outnumbered automobiles in those days, and the highway quickly gave way to unpaved roads and kampungs. We moved to Menteng Dalam, when we lived in a small house with a mango tree out front. I learned to love Indonesia while flying kites, running along paddy fields, catching dragonflies, and buying satay and bakso from the street vendor. Most of all, I remember the people, the old men and women who welcomed us with smiles, the children who made a foreigner feel like a neighbor, and the teachers who helped me learn about the weather words. Because Indonesia is made up of thousands of islands, hundreds of languages, and people from scores of regions and ethnic groups, my times here helped me appreciate the common humanity of all people. And while my stepfather, like most Indonesians, we raised a Muslim, he firmly believed that all religions were worthy of respect. In this way, he reflected the spirit of religious tolerance that is enshrined of Indonesia's constitution, and that remains of this country's defining and inspiring characteristic. I stayed here for 4 years, a time that helped save my childhood, a time that saw the birth of my wonderful sister Naia, and a time that made such an impression on my mother that she kept returning to Indonesia over the next 20 years to live, work and travel, pursuing her passion of promoting opportunity in Indonesian's village, particularly for women and girls. For her entire life, my mother held this place and its people close to her heart. So much has changed in the 4 decades since I boarded a plane to move back to Hawaii. If you ask me or any of my schoolmates who knew me back then, I don't think any of us could have anticipated that I would one day come back to Jakarta as President of the United States. And few could have anticipated the remarkable story of Indonesia over these last 4 decades.